Alright, so I am surrounded by piles of eyeshadow, and it's not even half of them. We're basically doing an eyeshadow collection slash mini declutter, because I know I got some things that I can let go. And the things I do let go are going to go in this box. So, let's get to it. If you like this look, you will see this whole weekend what I have on my face. So, yes, beautiful. Also, my green eyes always look so pretty on the camera. Okay, that's it. I'm done oogling myself. Sometimes it's okay to be a little conceited, because then you can be brought right back down to earth because there's lipstick on your teeth. Oh, if you do like this lipstick color, my husband said he liked it. It's My Boo it's a lip liner and liquid lipstick. It's the Soul Matte from Morphe. Beautiful. It's not transfer proof, but it is really pretty online. Or, it's really pretty on my lips, not online. Okay, eyeshadow collection. Let's go. I'll show you what I have out in my weekly Shop My Stash, which is the Made by Mitchell Head in the Clouds palette. Gorgeous. I think I'll do my eyeshadow singles afterwards. And then we'll go to blush, highlights, and the miscellaneous items. We have Michaela Part 2. Lovely. This one's on my eyes. Not all of it, but some of it's on my eyes today. And there's Jeffree Star Cremated palette. I really love how this palette looks, and I love the inside too. I have done so many looks with this. Very versatile. And you would think it wouldn't be versatile, but it is. If I get any more lipstick on my teeth, I'm just gonna let it chill. It's gonna hang out. So we have Pat McGrath Labs. It's the Mothership Mega Celestial Odyssey. So here she is. Gorgeous on the inside. I actually really like this. I kind of want to buy some of her bigger palettes, but they're pretty expensive. And I only buy those big expensive palettes when I actually have, oh, I thought I had hair clipping. When I actually have the money or want to spend. I have to really like the color story to buy the palette. Then we have Changement from Morphe 2. Nice Maddie collection. It's a nice palette. I really like it. And one of my newer additions is the Citrus Punch from Simply Posh. I was kind of thinking about getting the blue one. I really like all these shimmers. A lot of them they're just topper shades, but if you do a couple layers on your eyeballs, it's beautiful. Some of them are harder pressed than others. Like this one came out pretty easy a second time with a different brush. And then some of them are a little bit more harder pressed, which is fine. It doesn't really bother me too much. It's just a little annoying because it takes a little bit more to get it off. But other than that though, recommend this palette. I can get so much use out of it. Also, it's nice and heavy and sturdy. Quality. There's ColourPop Hocus Pocus Witching Hour palette. I have all three of these guys. I can't let them go. Although, Hello Billy was just trying to come out, but it's magnetic. So the shades come out. Are all their palettes magnetic? Let me know. Because I don't know. But it went in just fine, so here's the inside. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that gold. I love a good gold look. Neutral gold. Oh, it's the face of my palettes are raining down. That's what I have out for the Shop My Stash while filming this. So let's go through these stacks. We have Oh My Lord. I've done injured it. Oops. We do have KKW. It's her beauty. It's the camo palette. I don't think she makes or sells this anymore. But we have this one. Yeah, I don't think I'll be decluttering. Not really. there's no point in decluttering. I like everything I have. It's pretty well executed, I think. We have Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Starry Eyes to Hypnotize. Ooh, so pretty. Look at the shimmers. Yeah. I'm about to pull this out to use it. I think I know what palettes I can combine that with. Some palettes I just don't like using by themselves, but I do like to combine them. It's magnificent. Oh, the only palette I won't have in this collection is the Alter Ego Artemis palette. That's coming to me Tuesday, so I've already filmed this before I've got that. But it's basically another Natasha Denona Metropolis look-alike. Beautiful. I'm trying to post more and record more. I'm trying to put more effort into my channel, but it's a little hard when you work a lot, you know. And, you know, doing other life things. Trying to find a balance. Because this is like a fun hobby. Zach, my husband, told me it's like a little diary online for me. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, it's like my own personal channel and I just post things. Which is also why I changed the name of the channel and I love it. It's my middle name and part of my gamer tag. So now I can show you guys random blogs. I'm not going to blog all the time because I'm not that person who likes to watch blogs all the time. Alright, I like them here and there, but I like not literally every day. I'm trying to see what you're doing with your makeup on your face. I want to see it all. Even if you just always do neutrals, I want to see what you're doing with the neutrals. I want to see. Okay, so next is BH. Mrs. Claus. Santa's daughter is here to slay the lit list. That's a big name. But I absolutely love this palette. She gave him a little busted though. You know, because you know, the UPS, they be hating, okay? They be slinging these things. Terrible. But look at that beauty. Can you see? It's a gorgeous palette. I love it. Where am I going to sit these things? I'm trying to think this through. Send help. Oh, okay. Alright, so we have, yeah, I'm just going through, yeah, we're going to go through this side, and then we'll go through this side, and then the little things. Then I'll have to pause this, gather everything off the shelf, set them down, and then replay. So we have the Revolution, the Emily Edit the Once palette. This is actually nice. It's underrated, I think. This is a nice, dark, colorful palette. It's beautiful. Like, look at those colors. I love this. It's got red, orange. You got some white to brighten things up. You got some nice outer edge colors here. You got some nice light shimmers, dark shimmers, and this is a nice pairing palette as well. It's my second time having it in my palette, in my collection anyway. So we have NYX, we have Ultimate Utopia, Slay, the best Slay palette they have ever made. Look at this. 2 of the shades came busted, but I still have enough shadow in them to still use them, so they're inner corner highlights. But look at this palette. This is amazing, right? Then another NYX palette I have is the Ultimate Queen palette. This is gorgeous. You know who encouraged me to buy this one? I don't even know. It's Steph Beauty Stash. You should go follow her. She makes lovely content. Especially if you love eye looks. She is the go-to person. Also, Morta Faye, I love watching her too. She uses a lot of Makeup Revolution, but she always has such pretty looks, and then she reuses palettes too, which I love that. Because I'm not always buying new. Oh yeah, look at that. It's looking beautiful. There's still a knot there, but at least it's going away. It's a big knot, actually. It's fine. It's totally fine. We have Be Perfect Carnival 3 Love Tahiti. I actually like this palette. I've seen a lot of people though declutter this because of the hype, you know, because this had so much hype. And I understand, it's just it doesn't have enough shimmer contrast for me. But I do love the pair of shimmer palettes with the mattes in here. Gorgeous. I would swatch next, but this video would be 10 times long, and I've got things to do. We have Be Perfect Carnival, The Antidote. Oh my god, this is my favorite one they've done. This is amazing. This is the best palette I think I have in my collection. Yeah, I love it. She's gorgeous. I might declare a couple palettes. Basically, refreshing myself with my palettes. We have Juvia's Culture. Oh, this is a good one. Look at this. Love it. We have the Big O from Jeffree Star. This is a nice matte, all matte palette. It's gorgeous. Now, I don't have all his palettes. I used to have almost every single one, but I decluttered 2 of them along the way. We have Morph 35 XS No Silent Night. Oh my god, this is a pretty palette. It's a good release on their part. Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. I love this. This is a gorgeous palette. This I was using non-stop when I first got it. Non-stop. I think they still sell it too. There's Morph 35A Up Till Dawn. Morph has some pretty palettes. I love this color scheme. It's beautiful. I'm also a big Morph fan. I like Morph. 35S Sweet Oasis. Look at that packaging. And on the inside is even more pretty. Oh, look at all that. How could you not like that variety? Like how I did that gray pink look with the JSC palette a couple videos ago. I could do almost a similar look with that palette. Yeah. We have Jaclyn Hill. This is the original one, volume 1. Yeah, look at that usage in there. I like it. Then we have Jaclyn Hill Volume 2. Gorgeous. That gold is my favorite shade next to this shade. I like the pinks in there too. Get pretty looks. We have XX Revolution, the Powerpuff Girls. This is also a nice palette. I like my big palettes. We have 35D Desert Bouquet from Morph. It's one of those words. Someone has told me once before how to pronounce that, and I now forget. But gorgeous inside. $35T Sweetest Tea from Morph. It's not pretty. Then there is BH Cosmetics Doja Cat Mega Palette. I like this too. I like this palette. Even though the darker shades aren't as pigmented as you would think from looking at the pan, I still really like this palette. It's really nice. I like it. For the most part, it's a 50-50 palette, but I still love the 50-50 palette. We have Beauty Bay Earthy. I just recently had this out. Look at that. She's gorgeous. See, like the Be Perfect Carnival palette? That's a, that could be like, they're basically the same palette, this Earthy and the Be Perfect Antidote. With Beauty Bay Midnight. Gorgeous. Then when they have Morph, this is the 39S Such a Gem palette. It's just a plain blank covering. It's a beautiful pink purple palette, but look at the inside. Gorgeous. I have a small little dent in a couple of the shades. And then we have Morph Times Pony Constellation Sky. Gorgeous packaging. Here she is, gorgeous. Okay, now I'm gonna start putting palettes over here. So we have the Tribe by Juvia's. Here's the inside. This palette has so much hype, and I got it and I used it, and I was like, this is, man, I think the best shade in here is Coral, which got like the most hype. But I don't think it's like, I only spent 20 bucks on this, and I don't recommend spending more than 20 bucks on it, because it's still just, I have these shades a lot, and I probably have these shimmers too mimicked. I still like it though, it's quite nice. We have Garden of Juvia's from Juvia's Place. Oh, this is beautiful. I love the shimmers in this palette. I don't even need the mattes in it. I just want the shimmers. And so I usually just use the shimmers in that. We have Glamlite Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Oh, this is such a cute palette. There's the inside. Look at that. I love the shimmers. Love the shimmers. Patrick Star One Size, the Visionary palette. I like the little lip on it where you can just tink. It's a good neutral palette with just a little bit of color. Not too much color, but a little bit. We have Kaleidos Club Nebula. That's the Angelica collab. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I will probably hit pan on Firefly, Nova, Nebula. I will definitely be hitting pan on the shimmers first. I like how my hair was just all up in the palette. Jeffree Star Thirsty. Some nice palette. I love the little shimmers in the center. Juvia's Walhalla 2. I had the Walhalla 1, but I decluttered it because I just didn't like the color scheme as much as the other two. Like, look at this. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous inside, and the shimmers are beautiful. Fake is like the best shade in the palette, by far. We have Morph Live With Love. Love it. Look at this. Grungy and some bright with the shimmers. I love a good grunge palette. Then we have all the Norvina palettes. We have, this is Norvina 5. Here's the inside. It's very pretty. Then there's Volume 3. The packaging. That's gorgeous. Then there is Volume 1. This was one of the last ones I bought. Gorgeous. I will never break up this collection, ever, because I love all these. This is Volume 4. And I spent good hard-earned money on these too, so. Then this is Volume 2. It's another pretty palette. Look at those shimmers. I am a shimmer gal. And then Volume 6. How can I not buy the space one? Had to. Look at it. I'll end up using those glitters in there too one day. And we have Sample Beauty, the Equalizer 2. Oh. Here she is on the inside. I love this palette. That broke. I'm not sure how I broke it when I broke it, but I broke it. Look at these. Then there's Sample Beauty Paradigm Shift palette. It's another pretty palette. And while I'm sitting here, I'll probably, I know I don't have a whole lot to declare within my collection, but the Charlotte Tilbury palette, I'm just gonna get rid of that. Same thing with the KK Beauty Camo palette. I'm gonna let this go too. I didn't like the quality in it, but I like the Charlotte Tilbury, I just don't ever use them. Okay, gone. More little palettes. So we have Odin's Eye, the Helia times Angelica. This is gorgeous. Then we have Odin's Eye Soul Mane 2 palette. I only have two Odin's Eye palettes. I will start buying some more of their palettes because I do like their formula. It's beautiful. We have the KVD. This is the Moon Garden Vegan palette. This is a nice little palette. It's gorgeous. We have ColourPop All For Sight Raw Beauty Christie. I actually don't even like this palette, so I'm just gonna let this go. I just do not like it. It doesn't do it for me. Okay. We have Butte Bean Kind Shroud. It's freaking Bats eyeshadow. Obviously, it's eyeshadow. I love this. I've been using this a lot recently. Then I have JSC Mini O. I didn't find my palette to be defective, so it still works great for me. We have JSC Mini Breaker. Love it. We have Mini Conspiracy from JSC with the green shade. Then I have the original Mini Conspiracy palette. And then we have his, this is Mini Blood Sugar. It's a nice little travel palette. Sweetener is like the best shade by far. That and Coma, top tier. And there's the Weirdo palette. I love his mini palettes. Gorgeous. He needs to make a Mini Blood Sugar palette. We have Star Ranch. Gorgeous palette. I actually got a dip on Wyoming. I have a dip on that shade. Starting to have a dip on Star Creek too. And there's Pure Times Raw Beauty Christie. Here's this side. I did once have this in a project pan, but then I used it so much I got bored. That's how I know I'm not good with palette project pans. But I am getting dips on this palette. And that's the nude side. I actually like the nude side. It's kind of nude, but not really nude. And there's mirrors on both sides too. ColourPop Lush Live. Look at that. Very pretty. Yeah, very pretty. I just had to admire it. And we have ColourPop Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Gorgeous little palette. A lot of palettes I don't necessarily use by themselves. I love to keep them to pair with other palettes. We have the Sweet Pinks by Juvia's. My favorite Juvia's palette. I love the Sweet Pinks palette. Out of all the Juvia's I have, this is by hands down my favorite. Okay, our next little container. Have some Huda Beauties. We have the Electric Obsessions. There is Pastel Lilac. We have Pastel Rose. We have Pastel Mint. Gorgeous. There's actually a pretty big dip in this shade right here. Have Wild Chameleon, Cha. Same difference, I guess. Close enough. We have Wild Python. I would have had like the Cheetah palette, Tiger palette, but I had to go online to get that. And I don't like to stray too far from ordering off Sephora or Ulta. We had Wild Jaguar. Look how gorgeous that is. Okay. One more stack of palettes where I gotta put things up and then bring out more stuff. I have 160, 165-ish palettes. Probably 166 now, I don't know. We have Essence Blooming Wings. The shimmers are beautiful. I haven't tried the mattes in it yet though. But the shimmers so far though are beautiful. We have JCat, the Traffic Night Booklet, the Chaotic Element. These are nice palettes from JCat. Then you got Jungle Roar from JCat. Favorite JCat palette. Look at that. Top tier. So we have some more ColourPop. We have the Mandalorian. And then we have the Child from ColourPop. This shade and this shade came squished, so I've had to pack them back in repeatedly. We have Baroque from ColourPop. Violet Voss Care Bears. This is the mini Care Bear palette. So very pretty palette. We have two mini Too Faced palettes. We have Old Major Love. Then there is That's My Jam from Too Faced. I have a mini Natasha Denona palette. It is the Jubilee. This is when I was getting boxes from, not Ipsy, oh, BoxyCharm. Here she is. Very pretty. I had Coral too, but Coral was just breaking and losing its shit. So I put it to rest in the trash can, you know. I have two Pat McGrath Eye Ecstasy palettes. It's Subversive. Gorgeous shimmers. And then there is Sublime, which is the same packaging style. I bought these when they were on sale. So I paid like 30 bucks for both, I think. We have Gemstone from Huda Beauty. I love Huda Beauty's small little palettes. Beautiful palette. I love this shimmer palette. We have Khaki Haze from Huda Beauty. That's the inside. Emerald Obsessions, Huda Beauty. Gorgeous. And we have the Huda Beauty Neon palettes. We have Huda Beauty Neon Green. I love these. The Scandal doesn't bother me. These don't affect my eyes. Perfect. They work great. We have Neon Orange. I looked everywhere on Mercari. Waited months to find these. And then Neon Pink. I wish they'd make a big neon palette. That would be amazing. All right, so let me put these stacks up and then I'll bring out the rest of my stacks. Give me a second. All right, so I pulled out two shelves and I'm gonna pull out the last two shelves once I go through this, so it's not as chaotic and things don't get dropped or broken. So there's no rhyme or reason. We're just going through it. So we have Gemini from Melt. I like this palette. I had Gemini too, but one of my shades kept getting like a fuzziness to the shimmer and it looked like mold. I cleaned it off once, left it alone. It was back, so I just threw it away. I won't repurchase Gemini 2. I have plenty of nice maroon red palettes, so it's fine. We have Melt Marat. By the time they did bring this back, I'd already paid $20 over the original price for it, so no regrets. I like it. And then we have Melt Vita. Gorgeous. I have a dip in the shade Mexicana, Amor Eterno, and Papel Picado. Yeah. And Serape. I use that palette a lot. Sample Beauty, the Jewel Toned palette. This is a gorgeous palette. I love Sample Beauty. I'm so glad I bought like a big bundle on Mercari of them. Beautiful. We have Natasha Denona Circo Loco palette. Gorgeous palette too. I love it. Then we have Harry Potter from ColourPop. I love this palette. It's amazing. It's my favorite ColourPop palette, I think, in my collection currently. It's just beautiful. Then we have Tati Beauty Volume 1. I find this palette to be okay. It's not like, it's ranked 50-50. It's not like it wasn't a must, but if I'd never purchased it, it wouldn't have been too much of a loss or FOMO. So here she is. Okay. Then we have ColourPop So Jaded. Beautiful palette. Took me forever to find it intact and originally because everybody changed out the topaz and topal shade because it's a glitter. That's fine. I'm not. So it took me forever to find it fully intact. We have Play It Jewel from ColourPop. Gorgeous palette. We have Sample Beauty Plush palette. My top is a little warped. I don't know why, but it's still good. So here's the inside. Look at that shade. The shade Antique looks beautiful. I like this palette. We have Moon Smell from Lunar Beauty. Gorgeous inside. You don't have to pay a whole lot for it either. Hank and Henry tie-dye palette. I love this palette. It's a beautiful matte palette. I personally like this one better than the Blends Buddy Cosmetic Blends palette. I just like this one better. I don't know why. I just like it better. I don't know. This one just worked better for me, to be real honest. So, yeah. Gorgeous matte palette. We have Sample Beauty, the Blooming Lovely palette. This is another good one. Look at those shades. We have Made by Mitchell, Feet on the Ground. I love this. I really want his cow palette, but I can't find it anywhere. Here she is. There is Tartlet Full Bloom from Tarte. I want to get the Man-Eater one. Look at these. I think the two palettes would go good together. Plus it smells really good. We have a Glam Light Ice Cream palette. It's a gorgeous palette from Glam Light. We have BH Cosmetics BFF Alondra and LT palette. This is a good purchase too. We have It's a Mood from ColourPop. And then Star Wedding from JSC, which I just put up a recent video with it for an eye look. I have more eye looks. A lot of these palettes I probably have eye looks up on, but if you can't find one, and if I pull it out my shop, my stash, let me know. I could probably do a look, or I've done a look with them through my weekly palette recaps. So there's always looks with these on the channel. We have JCat Chaotic Element Storm Simulation palette. This is a good one. I know I got a video up with using this. I have Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. Gorgeous. Huda Beauty does fantabulous with shimmers. We have her Naughty Nude palette. I like it. I want to get the Empowered palette from them. I just haven't bought it yet. We have Rose Quartz from Huda Beauty. So I want the Empowered palette for sure. Gorgeous. We have another Melt. It's the Impulsive palette. This is my favorite Melt palette for sure. I love this palette. She's gorgeous. Can't tell me otherwise. With Melt 420. ColourPop Hocus Pocus Gather Round Sisters. This is the original one, and it's like the best one. It's perfect. Perfect scheme. We have ColourPop Hocus Pocus 2. This is All Hallows Eve palette. This is the bigger panned one. She's pretty too. I like the shimmer one, Candle is a Lit. That's a good shade in there. We have Elf times J Kissa to the rescue. Glad I bought this palette. It's the only thing I have of J Kissa. She's still off the maps. I think she just don't do YouTube anymore. I don't know. Ace Butte Oceanic palette. This is a gorgeous Ace Butte palette. We have Morph times Ashley Strong's The Affirmation Magic Artistry palette. This is underrated. This is a really good palette. Beautiful grunge palette, first of all. Love it. Feel like that needed more talk too, more hype. We have Sample Beauty The Equalizer, Volume 1. This is a gorgeous palette. It's chock full of shimmers. Beautiful. Then there's a Blend Bunny Cosmetics Surge. I like the Surge palettes. They're quite nice. And then, oh, my bad. There's Jawbreaker from JSC. My husband bought this palette for me, and it's what started the Jeffree Star palette collection obsession. I'm in the mood now where I just don't keep palettes I don't like anymore, so I don't really buy collections as much to keep everything, you know, completely intact. We have the Natasha Denona Tropic palette. This took me forever to find online. Love it. I'm very glad I purchased it. We have Pastel from Natasha Denona. The shimmers are perfect in here. We have Love from Natasha Denona. Good palette. We have Zindo. I love the Zindo palette. Here's the inside. Zindo is beautiful inside. I do fight with it, but I still love it. We have Bronze. This is a great pairing palette for sure. We have Star Wars from ColourPop. We have Trio Chrome from Natasha Denona. Love it. There's Strawberry Dream from Lunar Beauty. Still so happy I got this palette. The most perfect shimmer shade in there. It's like a glitter shimmer. Not mad. Still love this palette. It's gorgeous. We have Alien from JSC. The only two palettes I don't have of his is obviously Bloodlust and then the Banana palette because I let those go. I didn't like them. It's gorgeous. I do love this Alien palette. We have Pricked from JSC. You can see where my cats gnaw on it. Sounds about right though. So here's the inside. Now my packaging is falling apart as you can see, but I do grab this a lot so it doesn't bother me that my packaging is broke. That was probably definitely for me breaking it. Alright, so we gone through that stack, so now I need to grab the other stack. Alright, so I have the last of my palettes out. So let's go through them. We have the JSC Conspiracy palette. I have a love-hate relationship with this palette. Like one day I love it, next day I'm like, ugh, this is terrible. The next day I'm like, I love it. It just depends on the color combinations that I use from this, but I still pretty much love this thing. She's not going nowhere. I paid $30 over what it was worth to get it. We have Blue Blood. Ooh. I love this palette too. It's got a nice variety in it. But I like his older formula. I don't know what he did in the Banana Finish palette, but that thing was not working at all for me. Same thing with One Lust. I loved how it looked. I loved the color scheme, but every time I used it, I couldn't get it to work. Now, if I used just one or two shades from it, it was fine. But using it by itself, no, never. Terrible. All my other JSC palettes work great for me, though, so I don't understand. It's okay. We have Blood Sugar. I say it's okay, but I'm gonna complain about it all this whole video. Look at Blood Sugar, though. This thing is gorgeous. You have reds, purple, and pink, golds. A nude row. You have a nude row, like a pink, purple, peachy, gray row, and like a red row. It's beautiful. I love it. I need to pull that out next time I pull out palettes. Then we have Blood Money. Gorgeous palette, but so hard to open, man. Especially one-handed. He did great. Now we need a mini Blood Money palette. A mini Blood Money. Please. Oh, look at that. It's gorgeous. I love the variety on this too. Then there is my all-time favorite JSC palette. It is the Pink Religion. This and Jawbreaker, top tier. Look at this. It's gorgeous. I love using this. Every time I think of a pink palette, I come to this or that mini Juvia's Sweet Pinks palette I have. Beautiful. And then there's the Revolution The Simpsons palette. Treehouse of Horror. I love this palette too. This was a great Revolution palette by far. I mean, look at those colors. Yeah, I'm not trying to convince you to buy any of this because no one needs as many palettes as I have, but I have them because I love selection, and I have really curated my collection down to where it perfectly fits my makeup want needs, you know, especially color stories. So we have Lime Crime Prelude Exposed. This is gorgeous, okay? I need to pull it out and use it. Then there's Lime Crime Prelude Chroma. This is by far the best Lime Crime palette in the universe. Okay? By far. We have Kaleidos Flower Punk palette. Gorgeous. I love the shimmers in it. I'm also, after I finish filming this, I'm going to be making, because I'll edit this while I make biscuits and gravy. Top tier. I make great biscuits and gravy. And I don't do anything from scratch. I make the sausage. I make the packet gravy. That took me 4 different times to teach myself how to make that correctly. And then I pop the biscuits in the oven. Top tier. Tastes top tier to me anyway. And we have my favorite KVD palette, which is the 10-year anniversary. Gosh, I love this palette. I need to pull this one out to use. But look at her. It's gorgeous. Favorite KVD palette. Still good. A lot of my powder palettes work great. If they don't start working great, then I just toss them and hopefully come across something similar in color scheme. We have JSC Androgyny. Look at this. This thing is gorgeous. That's a beautiful grunge palette. Then we have the Beauty Killer. This is the original one, I think. Yeah. The original Beauty Killer palette. Look at her. Color story makes no sense, but she's a perfect pairing palette for me. It's a nonsense color scheme, but it's beautiful. XX Revolution, The Matrix. This thing is top tier too. I love this. I love this whole color scheme. And if you can find this on Mercari or Poshmark or, you know, Facebook Marketplace, I 100% recommend you pick this bad boy up. I love it. We have Jurassic World times Profusion. I like this thing too. You have, look at that. The inside, the giant highlighter, and then you have the glitters. I love the glitters. They did great on the glitters, by the way. I think I've used 2 out of 5. Yeah, no regrets. She's bulky, but not too bad to store on a bookshelf, so. Then there's Moonspell Volume 2 from Lunar Beauty. I love the packaging, by the way. Super cute and witchy. That's a beautiful color scheme. It's purples, pinks with some reds. It's perfect. Have two Urban Decay palettes. I think it's the only 2 Urban Decay palettes I have in my entire collection. I wish they would bring the big palettes, Vice palettes back. Those things were perfect. We have Urban Decay, it's the Naked Wild West. This is a good palette, by the way. She's nice. I just don't like the brushes that come with these palettes. They're garbage, so I tossed them away. Actually, I think I give them away. I do either of the 2. It's fine. Gorgeous palette, though. I need to use it more. This is my all-time favorite Urban Decay palette. It's the Ultraviolet. I love the Ultraviolet. Beautiful. Perfect palette. It's a perfect palette for me. I love it. We have Glam Light Michaela palette. This is the first one. She's gorgeous. I love the second palette like way better, but the first one is perfect too. Second one is just top tier compared to this one, you know. But here she is for Michaela Part 1. Ow. My hair just went in there and then I pulled it out, pulled my hair out. Hurt myself. Beauty Killer 2 from Jeffree Star. Well, this is gorgeous too. There's so many good palettes I need to use, and I've only let 3 go out, all of this, so, you know, I've got it really curated down. When I only had 3, I can be like, bye-bye. But here she is. Gorgeous. We have Gimme Glow Pastel Dreams. This is a good palette. Final Beauty just did a beautiful look with this palette. If you want to go check out her channel, I love her. She has so many pretty looks, and she's so creative and doing it different styles, while I just stay stuck on the one style, and every once in a while I'll do like this with shimmers. So, you know. We have Gimme Glow Summer Vibes, but this is the perfect way I like to do the eyeshadow for myself. So Summer Vibes. I think I've used this a total of 1 time. Yeah, I need to use this more. Definitely need to use it more. And we have Gimme Glow Bad Witch Club. Look at that packaging. This is what inspired me to do a mini Gimme Glow haul, because this palette is beautiful. I love grunge and bright tones together. We have Melt, Amor, Mori Mariposas. It's beautiful on the inside. Not my favorite Melt palette, but she's still beautiful on the inside. And I can still get pretty looks from it, so I like it, so I keep it. I have 2 Zodiac palettes from BH Cosmetics. I kept the Love Signs, because she's a pretty color scheme. And then the original Zodiac palette. The other one I did not like. And she's the hardest one to find. I did not like her, so I let her go. Look at this. Love it. Now the last, I have Tiny Marbles from Sydney Grace. I like the color scheme, but sometimes I can't get this to work with me. It's the formula. I have troubles with the formula. And I keep it because it's Mel Thompson, but I don't know. I would declutter this though. If it wasn't tied to Mel Thompson, I would definitely declutter this, just because the formula doesn't work very well with me. I don't work very well with the formula, to be more precise. Okay? But I still keep it because I still like the color stories and the shimmers are beautiful. So I still use it every once in a while. And the last of my collection is Beauty Bay. So we have Beauty Bay Wilderness. I have a dip going on this shade. Look at this. This is like a smaller version of Antidote from Be Perfect, and then a smaller version of Earthy palette from Beauty Bay. So Wilderness palette. So you want bulky palettes, pick up Wilderness. Then you have Beauty Bay Love Notes. This is such a cute palette. Then we have Age of Opulence from Beauty Bay. Gorgeous darks. This is a pairing palette for me. We have Sunset Horizons from Beauty Bay. And then Beauty Bay New Moon. Gorgeous. And Dark Fantasy from Beauty Bay. I like this palette, but then I don't like the palette. I have troubles trying to draw inspiration from it, so I don't have troubles drawing inspiration from like anything. That's why this is a pairing palette, because I see a look I want with it, but then I realize it doesn't have the other shades that I would like to put the look all together. So she's definitely a pairing palette. All right, so that is my eyeshadow collection, minus the one I haven't gotten the mail yet, and the 3 small ones I'm gonna send to a new home, probably for free, just so I can get rid of them. But yeah, that's my eyeshadow collection. Thank you for watching. Let me know what's your favorites, what is in your collection, what do you love? Are you just a 5 palette kind of person and you're good to go? That's everything you need. Are you like me? Do you like having a big selection? I'm curated it down. This is the smallest my eyeshadow collection will more than likely get. Unless there's some unfortunate circumstances and then I really have to condense. But other than that though, this is it. I love this. So I don't buy eyeshadow as much because I have so much now that I love to hit pan on and use. So doing the weekly palette recaps work. I haven't done it for like a month or 2. I take hiatuses on that because sometimes I do them too much and then I'm like, I gotta get up and do makeup so I can do this video, you know? So that kind of puts a hanker on it, but new me, new whatever, thought process, whatever's going on. All right, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.